Hello, fellow fans. I'm Mark. With me is my co-host, the Where in the World is Bryan San Diego? What up, Bryan?
I don't think anybody understands that reference anymore, but I really wish that game franchise would make a comeback.
Oh, man, the game show. There was an animated series. Epcot had it at Disney World.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that like before Where's Perry Platypus?
Yep.
Okay. It was
Yep.
Carmen
For
San
Kim
Diego.
Possible and all that. Welcome, everyone, to UWF on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. On the last episode, Bryan and I united to discuss and rule at the UWF courthouse how factual 8 films based on true stories were. Did we bring down the gavel on them all, or were we lenient? Listen and find out. On this episode, we unite at UWF courthouse. Whoa, was that Law and Order? Let's hear it again. Chills, literal chills. On this episode, we unite UWF studios with special guests as we get spooky this Halloween season here on UWF. Starts now.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Football is life.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
This is the way.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Hello, fans. Hello, Bryan. As always, a pleasure to be with you, to know you, to sense you. Thank you all for uniting with us as we talk about all things fandom. Please give us a rate and review wherever you listen so we can out with more fans out there on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. We do have special guest hosts. I hope everyone is excited. We're excited. Follow UWF on Facebook and Instagram, X, Twitter, and Discord to have more fun with us and our guests. And Discord privileges. Join up. Join in discussions. It's a great time. Bryan, before we get to our guest hosts, we have entertainment news. This is going to be a get you in the Halloween spirit. I don't know why I keep wanting to say holiday spirit. Halloween spirit.
Because the holidays are better than Halloween.
Whoa. Bryan, do you have, I think somebody asked you at one point which one was better, Disney Halloween or Disney Christmas, and your thoughts were?
Yeah, Disney. The Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, I like it better I like it better than Not So Scary. But the best holiday event that takes place in a theme park is Halloween Horror Nights, and it's not even close. Very Merry Christmas is better than Not So Scary for me personally, just because Christmas is so much better than Halloween.
Yeah. We did get a new preview for Nosferatu. I am excited for that movie. Remake of a classic. Usually you're kind of nervous, but this one looks like it's gonna just build and go further on that one. Bryan, will you be catching Nosferatu, or will you be staying home with garlic?
Staying home, I guess, with garlic. I mean, I've seen the original, I believe. Can't say that I remember much of the original. If I have, it doesn't move the needle for me at all.
Okay, that's fine. It comes out on Christmas, so that's a fun release date. The director, he's not for everybody. He did The Northman, The Witch, The Lighthouse. Hey. So
I like The Lighthouse, to be 100% honest, though.
I did like The Lighthouse. The Witch, I didn't quite get the love for. The Northman grew on me over time, I think is the best way to put it. Yeah. So also we got in the more action franchise, The Ballerina, the spin-off of the John Wick. What are they calling it? The World of John Wick.
Wait, you're telling me The Ballerina is a spin-off? Get it?
Hey, you know what? I'm actually not mad at you about that. That was good. I will Split with you and no. Yeah. Anyways, the ballerina looks really good. There's a scene in the preview where she's got a huge fire hose and a guy with a flamethrower. He's got a flamethrower. They're just competing on who would win, and I'm just like, who has not thought of that epicness? So that looks great.
Anna de Armas, man. Big fan.
Yeah. I know they're re-releasing John Wick for 10th anniversary in theaters, and I tell you what, I do love those movies. I don't know if I'd watch it again in theaters because the first one I need to be able to fast forward through a very heartbreaking part that only takes 2 seconds of screen time, but just breaks my heart. So
Yeah, I can't believe that movie's 10 years old. But does it really have the following to really get a theater re-release in 10 years?
yeah.
Huh, interesting.
I mean, we'll see. I don't think it's gonna.
They're pumping out. This will be movie number 5 in 10 years, though. That's wild.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, the action's always hitting. I know they're re-releasing The Nightmare Before Christmas like they always do this month. Speaking of re-releases, we did do our Tim Burton episode, so you and I both spoke our mind on it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll see it. Maybe if they get in 3D. So
Pass.
Okay. Speaking of passing, just like you would pass a ball, we're going to throw it to a new topic. Bryan, it is the postseason for Major League Baseball. And starting the day of this recording is round 1, the wild card round. We're going to make some predictions. We're only going to keep it for round 1. So unless Bryan wants to hurry up and already throw out a World Series prediction. But right now we have the Mets versus the Brewers, Tigers versus the Astros, Royals versus the Orioles, and Braves versus the Padres. Bryan, it is a best of 3. Who you got?
Orioles, Tigers.
Okay, same.
Mets, Braves.
Wow, Bryan, we're 4 for 4. Yeah, I think I have all of them except for one of the series going all 3 games.
Monday doubleheader, Mets Braves was electric. We need to figure out a way to make that happen every year.
Yeah, and
without a hurricane every year.
I know. I mean, as we're recording this, it doesn't look like it slowed down the Mets. We'll see how the Braves react to it, but I watched it. It was great.
Tigers have already won game 1, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. And the Royals beat the Orioles, so I need the Orioles to win 2 in a row.
Yeah. I think the only 2 teams I want to lose in the first round, I'm happy for all of them, but I want the Padres and Astros to lose.
What's wrong with
the
other
Padres?
Ones,
I'm just happy.
What's wrong with the Padres?
Manny Machado.
That's fair. Don't like that guy.
No. So, and then, the Astros are the Astros. So that's our predictions, friends. Stay tuned. Join us on UWF's Discord. Not only do we talk about nerdy stuff, but we like to talk some sports stuff there. Bryan is a big sporty sport. Bryan, we did have some sad passings this week. We got to give a shout out, I feel like, to all the sad deaths out there.
Yeah.
In the world of entertainment, not just in general. Sorry.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Not in my house. Not today.
Jimmy, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico?
Happier than Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot.
I just rewatched that, what was it, Geico commercial?
Yeah.
Still funny.
I love that commercial. Being from Denver, I love Dikembe Mutombo. So that one was sad. Let's see. Pete Rose, that is a mixed bag of emotions altogether. I'm just waiting for Rob Manfred to create a PR crap storm about, we were just about to let him in too. I just think Rob Manfred's not savvy enough to potentially do that. Let's see. I know there was a couple Broadway deaths as well, unfortunately. They're coming fast. It's not fun. I mean, I think the one that hit me the most though was Dame Maggie Smith. Professor McGonagall passed away, and that one hurt. That one hurt a lot.
That one hurt a lot. Just for many reasons. She's brilliant on Downton Abbey. We're just talking about other stuff besides Harry Potter. Second best Marigold, Exotic Marigold Hotel. What is Murder by Death? She was hilarious by that.
And she's old lady Wendy in Hook.
Oh, and Hook. Oh my God. Yeah, somebody posted. Oh yeah, First Wife. Oh, Sister Act. Can't forget Sister Act. Hook. I loved her in Hook.
Gavin Creel was one of the Broadway deaths.
Yeah. Murder by Death. That was right. I had the right name. If you get a chance to watch that comedy, it's an ensemble, like murder mystery. Check that one out. Let's see. Going over into our Discord, because we did movies based on true stories, and we had some of our listeners chime in. I know we went over on the last one, but a lot of people love Rudy, so that one got a lot of praise. And I didn't go back to watch it. I did go back to watch Private Parts, Howard Stern's Private Parts. That sounds weird. I did go back to watch the movie Howard Stern's Private Parts. There
Andrew is going to be happy about that.
Yeah. Younger me, when I watched it for the first time, I should not have watched that movie when I was younger. I definitely, Mom, if you're listening, I watched it behind your back. I'm sorry. I love you. But yeah, I shouldn't have. So, and then we also got some people that brought up Aaron Brockovich. So,
yeah.
Andrew T brought up Titanic. Look, I love Titanic. I will think on that ship anytime. I love that movie. No,
I guess that counts, but I didn't throw. Yeah, listener of the show Matthew said that he thinks about Braveheart and Gladiator the same way I do, more fictional tellings. Titanic falls in that same boat too. I guess it's kind of based around, but it's a fictional love story, right? So I don't throw Titanic in that category either.
Bryan.
It's true.
It's true. Oh, we forgot about Chris Christopherson as well. The actor
from he passed away, or his life?
Yeah, he passed away. Sorry.
Events?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
A lot of fans will probably know him from Blade.
Yeah.
So he did that Mel Gibson movie Payback as well.
Gonna be honest, we've had a few more organized intros than we have currently.
I know. Last but not least in news, before we get to our special guests and our sponsors, for those fans of Chucky's, sadly, batteries will no longer be included for the next season. It was canceled after 3 seasons by Sci-Fi and USA Network. So I still have to catch up on it. But from what I'm hearing, it ended on a cliffhanger, which is a bummer.
Yeah, well, then in 3 years from now, they can do a movie that ties up the story and everybody gets to live happily ever after, except that's not a thing in the Chucky-verse.
No. All right, friends, this is going to be a spooky episode where we get to introduce some very special guest hosts from a mystery. I'm going to keep it a mystery until after the commercial break. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, Diz Life Mark here, and I want to tell you all about the official travel partner here at Chip & Company. Let our good friend Sarah at Destination to Travel help you plan your next Disney vacation. Sarah specializes in planning dream vacations for your family. She's an authorized Disney vacation planner, and she can help with every step of your magical vacation. The best thing is that her services are 100% free. Want to travel beyond Disney? Sarah has you covered there too. Want to find out more? Fill out a trip request form over at the website at Chip & Co. or email her directly at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. Start planning that dream vacation today. Email her at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. chippandcompany.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, sponsors. We appreciate you out there. Friends, I did mention that we have special guests, and we certainly do have special guests. The special guests are the Sinister Sisters of Basically Haunted, the podcast. For everyone out there, if you are not following this podcast, listening to it, enjoying it, you are missing out, especially in the spooky month of October. Huge fan of it, and I'm not just saying that because they are friends of mine. I truly am fans of theirs. Without further ado, Allie, Miriam, hello, and welcome to Night We Fan, the podcast. Hello there.
Hi.
So, for all the listeners out there, you are the co-host, the wonderful, delightful host of Basically Haunted. I want to hear your origin story, but first, I want to say I love your intro music. The first time I heard it, I got a Tales from the Crypt vibe.
Yeah.
And I was just in right away.
I love our intro.
And then even your spooky news. So
Our witch cackle.
That's all Miriam.
You guys, like Miriam, you and Bryan, like, please don't leave us.
Wait, are you the witch cackle itself, or you're just the editor of the sound?
I'm just the editor. I wish I could cackle
that would have been
we try from time to time on our show, but we don't always nail it.
That would have been.
Bryan and I try to do impressions here and there. I think our last one was Christopher Walken. So
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Allie is more of our impressionist than me.
And it's always very sporadic and random. Like I just kind of jump
had some
in
good
and take
ones
Miriam by surprise.
Yeah, she had some good ones for Jaws, our Shark Month this week.
That was so much fun.
That was good.
Yeah, I went and did a Shark or a Jaws marathon because of your show.
A week.
I know. Well, that too, and I even watched the Paris one.
Under Paris.
Yes. So, friends listening, they do. Was that your first live watch where you did like a commentary with it?
Yeah. So and we plan to do more. We're just trying to find the right streaming app for us. The one we tried let us down, but we're going to try it again for sure.
Well, I know you guys recently did an episode, and I want to throw out a Bryan Random Rushmore for it.
The game where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
This song has just been engraved. Whenever I ask someone their top one, I just start humming that. You all did an episode on the movie Thanksgiving with Eli Roth.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and God, it sounds like such a fangirl. After you did the episode, I went and I watched it. I did see it in theaters, but I watched it again because of you. So the movie is called Thanksgiving. Can you all rank for me the movies Thanksgiving, Halloween, Black Christmas, and My Bloody Valentine? Now, feel free to choose any of the not as great remakes if you would like to, but I just want you all to rank them.
Okay.
Which Halloween are you talking about? Like 1970?
That's why I left it open. I was hoping that they would get brownie points by saying the original.
The Rob Zombie remake?
Well, you have that one, and then even the
Dude, Michael Myers is a beast in that zombie remake. That's nuts. That's another level of supernatural.
Do I have support? I actually enjoy the first one in that. The second one's okay. But I actually enjoy those movies.
I just don't think it's better than the original, though.
No. But I'm also a defender of Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. So, My Bloody Valentine, of course, you had the original and then the remake. Saw it in 3D.
3D.
One of the Winchesters, Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles. I had such a crush. on Jensen Ackles from my Supernatural obsession days. And I recently showed the boys Supernatural. And every once in a while, they'll be like, can we jump back into Supernatural? I was like, any day, anytime, whenever you want. Like, yes, let's watch it.
Oh my God.
You meant the boys as in the boys. I thought you meant the show The Boys from everybody that does Supernatural and Jensen Ackles.
No, my
But are you all able to rank them in preferred favorites?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go for it, Miriam. Take it away.
Should I do all 4 right away?
Yeah.
Or are we
Put them in
going
order
back?
of enjoyment for you.
Okay. Am I starting at number 4? Last question.
Yeah.
I promise. Okay. So this is going to be really bad, but I put My Bloody Valentine at 4 because I've never seen it. So I really know nothing about it.
It's
so
good.
I'm just going to put it at number 4 because I haven't seen
Good.
it. And then we're really going to hate this one. I also haven't seen Halloween ever. I know I have a horror
Any of
podcast.
them?
Just be quiet.
I didn't know this. You're in so much trouble. It's October 1st.
Wait, Miriam, any of them?
None of them. Never
Oh my
seen
God,
it.
I can't
Love
wait
the
to see it.
Halloween
Miriam's my
Horror
little
House, though.
scaredy cat. I gotta
I know.
push her to watch my favorite things because I'm the worst.
Spoiler alert. Jamie Lee Curtis dies and then isn't dead in the next one.
Oh,
And
that's
then
exciting.
there's exciting 90s versions and early 2000s Halloweens as well. Paul Rudd, I think.
I know that once I
that's
open
changing.
it up, I'm gonna watch all
You're
of
going
them
down
all
a
at
rabbit
once.
hole.
Yeah.
All right. So let me guess. Black Christmas coming up?
Black Christmas is number 2. We get our very first ever The Call is Coming from Inside the House. Iconic. And Thanksgiving, number 1. It's so fun. It's disgusting. I have to have my eyes closed for most of it, but hilarious and very, very fun. So that's my list.
Fair. Allie?
Number 4 for me is My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
Number 3 is Thanksgiving.
Whoa.
Number 2 is Black Christmas because not only is the original great, the remake is great, which is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
And I like both of them. The second one makes so many homages to the first that you just really become a fan and it all kind of gloms together and it's a great Christmas horror. And number 1 is Halloween.
Woo-hoo.
Where does Krampus fit in here?
Oh,
Krampus.
I love Krampus.
I
That
love
House of
any and
Halloween
all
Horrors is
Krampus
good.
movies.
Yeah.
Krampus is top on my horror Christmas.
Krampus does appear in the Rock and Chris Evans Christmas movie coming out this year.
Ooh.
Does he? Interesting.
Yeah, they go to a Krampus bar or something like that, and they have to fight him because they're searching for. I don't know. I'm sure it'll make sense when we see the movie, or
I'm sure it won't, but it's still part of the movie.
So that's random Rushmore. There'll be fun Rushmores ahead of time, but yeah, basically Haunted. Tell us your origin story. Tell us how you got into it, why you did it. Allie, were you a big horror fan and you were like, Miriam is not, this is my way of convincing her to do it by starting a podcast? What's your origin story?
I went on We Like Theme Parks to break down a previous Halloween Horror Night season. And I had been on We Like Theme Parks, and Miriam and I have known each other since 2020? 2021?
Yeah.
And we've done each other's shows sporadically. And then after the recap episode aired of We Like Theme Parks, Miriam came to me a few months later and she's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this podcast and I thought of you and it's going to be all horror. And I immediately said yes. Like there was no question. And we've just been reviewing stuff and going to different events, making recipes, dressing up for about a year now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, please follow them on Instagram. Both of them bring their wardrobe game to the theme parks.
That's mostly Miriam. I try to keep up.
Don't sell yourself short. I've seen your turkey outfit.
And she's also working on a Major Sweets outfit that I'm very excited to see.
I have a punishment that I'm not thrilled about, but it's coming up.
Yeah,
and you do cooking as well on your podcast. Allie, I think it was the Thanksgiving episode you brought up a recipe for something to tie it in. It kind of reminded me of, I'm going to age myself real bad here. On TBS,
Good morning.
they used to do...
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
I didn't even get to it yet. On TBS, they used to do a show called like Dinner and a Movie where they would cook and make something as they made the movie.
love that. I loved that series. Yes.
And I mean, if Bryan and I could cook, that'd be a great idea. But Allie, I'm glad you're running with that concept. So
it's funny that you mentioned that series because I watched that in all of my tween teen years, and I was there every week watching, and it's very much so a part of like me as a person. I love themed food. I love picking out food. One of the most recent ones that I rewatched it on my birthday. Rob's like, we got home at night. He's like, what do you want to watch? I said, American Psycho. And so we went on American Psycho, and I'm looking at all this fine dining, and because all they do is go out to eat. All they do is go out to lunch. And I'm looking at all these dishes like, oh, I could make that. I could make that. I could make that too. And it's just, I don't know. I like theming and pairing food to the visual movie experience. I think it's awesome.
Have you seen the second American Psycho?
I have not. No. I'm not a sequel reboot kind of person, but if the right suggestion is made, I will take it with a grain of salt and get back to you about it. Is it good or is it?
We are not recommending American Psycho.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The book, I'll recommend it, but good Lord, that thing is a challenging read, but yeah. So, Miriam, have you noticed yourself enjoying horror movies more after this? Bryan, to be behind the curtain, I'm working away on Bryan on getting him into the world of horror and Broadway. Now,
oh my God,
he's expanding. He's actually going to see some shows this month. I'm so proud of him.
But does going to Back to the Future the musical really count? I know Allie.
Yes, it's
but
so
I mean,
good.
no,
Yeah,
I understand. But
and you're seeing what else, Bryan?
Well, I've got an afternoon to kill, so I'm going to go see Hamilton.
Okay.
I'm just going to see Hamilton on Broadway.
Alone.
NBD.
I thought you were talking about horror and Broadway together because that is going to be a really, it's going to be a really big deal in 2025. You are going to get so much horror on Broadway. It's insane.
But because, I wish Beetlejuice the musical was still playing. I'd go see that before Hamilton.
I wish that show would come to Universal Studios where Blue Man Group was.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. If anyone out there is enjoying horror and stage productions, please find a production of Evil Dead the musical and you won't regret it.
Yeah, Chris Bond actually wrote and directs that show, and they're doing a whole run in Toronto as we speak. I had to run We Like Theme Parks this week, so if you listen to that show, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. The first, I think, 10 rows of that, make sure you bring a poncho.
We Like Theme Parks gets a day before us every single week here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network, so they better be listening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
am I enjoying horror more? I've always liked it, but I'm the type of horror fan that I want to know everything that happens in it, but I don't always want the visual information, if that makes sense. I know it probably doesn't, but what really got me into the genre was going to Halloween Horror Nights. I started doing that a few years ago. Allie came with us last year. She's going to meet up with us again this year. And so I love that. I love the production elements of horror, but I do still have a hard time with the movies just because I just my eyes believe everything they see. So I feel like it's real when I'm watching it sometimes. Like for a while, the goriest thing I'd ever seen was Sweeney Todd, and it made me like sick in the theater. Whoa. So if that gives you a threshold for I truly am not kidding. I had to have my eyes closed for most of Thanksgiving. So
can I ask, I mean, Allie said the podcast was your idea.
I know.
So
I thought it would be funny to have a huge horror fan and then a scaredy cat on the show. So that's kind of how
it's a good dynamic. I'm just surprised to hear it was fully your idea. Not fully, but it kind of was born at.
Yeah, it started there, and then we both just have such a love for the events too. Like we both love to get scared at these. And so that's where it started. And now I'm branching out to being scared in my own home, watching these movies. So, and I said earlier, the ones that I think are going to ruin my life, I just make Allie watch and I don't watch them. Like Midsommar, that's all you, girl. Please tell me about it later. And
I feel like I'm looking in a mirror right now at Bryan and I. We do love Sweeney Todd. We did a Tim Burton episode, so we shared our love for that. But I think I get it. My best friend, Frankie, who's a listener of the show,
Ouch.
He always asks if he goes to a movie. What did you say?
You said my best friend, and I just assumed you were talking about me. Allie, can I? Anyway, when Mark finishes,
my green tea.
When Mark finishes that, I do have a question for Allie.
So I know when it comes to horror movies, he always asks, "Is there any kind of like cutting or something in it?" I can't do that, and it's the funniest thing in the world. If like, have we all seen the original Pet Sematary?
Yes.
Oh no, there's a
original?
spoiler alert. No, there's a part where someone's Achilles gets cut.
Oh, yes.
So any kind of thing like that where it gets cut, he just goes, nope, 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 and just freezes up and gets into like a little ball. So I always have to warn him when something's about to happen. But go ahead, best friend Bryan.
So I do want to ask you guys. So Miriam, have you been to Halloween Horror Nights yet this year?
So I just got back from the Hollywood one, and then I leave a week from today to go to Orlando.
Okay.
And I also did Not Scary Farm this year, which was a blast. It was so fun. If anyone's on the West Coast,
Universal?
Better than Hollywood, HHN Hollywood for sure. I don't
Like
know if it'll be better than
scarier,
Orlando.
or-
Yeah, so much scarier. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. This year in Hollywood was a little flat, and I don't know why. Really, it feels like they were really light on scare actors, and maybe that's because they were all at Knott's, because they had so many at Knott's. It was crazy. So
I love Knott's Berry Farm. Allie, is the Insidious house truly as good as Rob says it is?
It is so. Can I swear on this show? It is so. Fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge.
It is probably.
I apologize to all listeners of Chip and Company. We're still a family podcast. Allie does not represent the views of the show.
It's so effing good. Like, it's top 3 of any year I've ever gone.
Whoa.
And this is why. And Miriam and I talked about it on our show as well. But so this year, the Universal Monsters house is a female-based Monsters house. It's also females being pitted against other females, which I'm not happy about.
Like, if you listen to our show, it is a fiercely female lens, and we're not down with this concept this year.
It falls flat. Yeah.
You were hoping they were going to be kicking some like
the patriarchy. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Love you, but patriarchy. Yeah.
Band together against someone else, not each other.
Right.
That's all we wanted.
So are they female monsters against other female monsters, or are they like science? Okay.
Yeah. It's Van Helsing and the
are-
Bride of Frankenstein trying to beat
Vampires and werewolves.
mummies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Brian and I are bad this year. We sadly are taking off from the spooky season. So
In my defense, I
live
live 700 miles away. I don't know what your excuse is.
Brian, there's no defense. You're in Louisiana. There's spooky stuff. So
really good spooky stuff.
We're gonna live vicariously through you both. But Allie, what number are you on for Horror Nights this year?
15.
Ooh, dang it! I was going to answer. I knew the answer.
15.
I knew the
Would you
answer.
like the answer still?
I'm obsessed with Allie's future husband. So
get in line.
For everyone, I know. For everyone listening at home, yeah, literally every time a listener of the show Frankie sees him, he's like, "Oh my God, it's Piano Rob."
He's
you know his name
famous.
is Rob.
He's United We Fans Rob, and then he's Piano Rob, and then, then he's softball Rob, and then he's boyfriend birthday Rob.
I just
and
love
on
how
Basically Haunted, he's that guy.
Yeah.
That guy
So-
we schedule around. No, I'm just kidding.
To me, he will always be like, I feel like he's the celebrity who I will always be there at his gigs to let him know that you're still just Rob. I braid your hair for performances.
That's why
like,
I love you so
I
much,
just comb
Mark.
your hair, Rob. Like
I
simmer
love you.
down. So yeah, I keep him humble. It's fine. But yes, Piano Rob, friend of the show, often guest host.
You know
guest
who
judge.
keeps him more humble?
His kids.
I was gonna say the boys will have a tendency to do that.
Gotta love the
And
kids.
as they're getting older, they're getting funnier. It's just, it's good. It's great.
Well,
Keeping them young.
I would love to throw one in there real fast.
The game where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
I'm gonna go to Miriam first on this. Miriam, since you're not gonna watch the screen all the way through, let's go with some family-friendly horror. Is there any family-friendly options that you have? Maybe your 4 favorites that might fall in here, including Haunted Mansion Muppet version.
Yeah,
Oh my
Miriam,
God.
if you need time, we have Discord members who answered this, and I can buy you like a minute or two if you want to think on it.
I made a list before we came, so
Ooh,
I am
do
ready.
it.
Okay, so we're supposed to pick 4. Is that right?
Yeah,
4.
Okay, I'm gonna start with my 4th is going to be Corpse Bride. I do think it's a little spooky, and like spookier than Nightmare Before Christmas to me. I think the themes
that
are a little
church
bit.
scene at the end.
Yeah, they're really going for it, but like you could still watch it with kids, obviously. I'm gonna pick the Addams Family Values. I love both, but we are big fans. We are big fans of Debbie on our show.
Good for Halloween and Thanksgiving viewing.
Y'all, Mr. Debbie.
Mr. Debbie.
Wait, what does she say? I can forgive all that, but pastels.
Debbie.
Get out of my house.
And I think they really embraced her. She is buried in the family cemetery, so I think she is an Addams.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna put Haunted Mansion Muppets. I do love that one. It's so fun. And I think the best of the Haunted Mansion
to
movies.
Eddie Murphy ever. I don't understand.
I was about to say, everyone
so
makes
sorry.
it very clear. Muppets Haunted Mansion, like they underline
and I like
it.
the new Haunted Mansion more.
See,
than
I do
like the Eddie
too.
one.
The Eddie Murphy one leaves me behind. I like the new one.
Oh my God.
like
The
the
Eddie
new
Murphy one is one of my favorite horror kid movies of all time.
I love the score.
The Steve Guttenberg.
We'll do a Haunted Mansion ranking on our show. We can have an argument.
The Steve Guttenberg Tower of Terror is better than the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
You're a liar.
Whoa, Brian.
That's
hot
a lot.
take. Wow.
Oh man.
Go
and
on,
then
Miriam.
this one might be a hot take, and it might be a little too intense, but I'm putting it in here because I saw it as a child. The 1999 The Mummy. It is classified as a horror movie.
That is so on brand for you.
Yeah, that movie rules. Miriam and I are
so
two
good.
peas
Miriam,
in a pod
somebody
here.
get her coffee. That's a good pick. Yeah, love it.
I love that movie. It's pretty scary, but I think kids can still watch it. Like the scarabs, maybe close your eyes a little bit, but it's a great time. And Brendan Fraser at his peak. And I think the second one is good as well. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Third one, if they hadn't recast Evie, it would be in this list too. But that really
She didn't want to do it. She was too.
I know. Just give us an excuse for why Evie isn't there. Don't give us a blonde actress from nowhere who means nothing.
Whoa.
It's rough.
I know those blondes ruin everything.
Listen, you can't go from Rachel Weisz to this person. Who was that? I don't.
My hot take is I actually like the Tom Cruise Mummy movie.
No.
Sorry.
That's
man.
disgusting. That's the worst thing you've ever said on this show.
That
is not
really
the worst thing. I've
upsetting.
definitely said a lot of bad things on the show.
Listen, strike one. They killed Jake Johnson in the first minute
what
of
was
that
with
movie.
that?
He
I was
came
already
back.
like, hey, I'm done. This isn't
He
worth
came
it.
back. It worked
Yeah,
out.
as evil Jake Johnson. No.
Just zombie Jake Johnson.
Yeah,
so.
no. Also, Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Oh, we're
The actress is Maria Bello.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to be careful how to phrase this. Brian and I are fans of Tom Cruise movies.
Just not that one. That one's bad.
That's exactly where I like Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise a lot.
Tom Cruise movies.
But I do not like
second
everything
Top Gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first
Top
Gun.
now you're speaking Brian's language.
The first Top Gun.
So before we get to Allie, our Discord member Andrew threw out Ghostbusters as well. He's also a fan of Addams Family Values, Muppets Haunted Mansion, and then this one scared the poopy out of me as a kid. Ernest Scared Stupid.
No. Rob
my
loves that
God.
movie too. No.
And then
I don't want to watch it again. I don't
listener of the show, Mark, brought up Monster Squad. And then, as always, every Halloween I throw out Mr. Boogedy. There's part 1 and part 2 on Disney Plus. But Allie, we got to hear your family Halloween movies.
I will do that, but really quick, the Insidious house, all of the monsters scare actors who are normally in the monsters house and do the great choreographed scares are now in the Insidious house.
Oh, that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. I can circle back. I'm good. But I just had to say that because there's a few rooms where the scares are just so choreographed and they really know what they're doing. They get in your face without touching you. They know how to push boundaries without crossing lines. And they are just
they also look big and intimidating, which we usually have in the Monster House.
So Rob got me when he told me there was multiple of those rooms where you don't know who's real and who's not.
Yes.
Those get me.
Those are good.
I'll hang on a little bit to the person in front of me or behind me.
Sounds to me like the Insidious house is better than the Insidious movie.
I just finished
Stop
binging the entire Insidious franchise and the entire Conjuring franchise, and we're going to break down both and look at the similarities because James Wan kind of made the same universe into 2 franchises, which is nuts, but he did it, and he's made over 20 movies about it. But yeah, I adore both franchises.
When does Aquaman show up?
Sorry?
When does Aquaman show up?
Oh. Hang on. Y'all brought him up. I'm going to give a shout out to an underrated horror movie he did called Dead Silence. Dead
Silence is great. It's so
I love
good.
That movie. But he did a bad movie called I can't, having a stroke right now. Malevolent. Thank you, Brian. Shut up. So that one. Have you guys seen it? There's a scene in police station that just is extremely laughable. So get in there ready to laugh unintentionally at that one. No. But I look forward to I love the Insidious movie. The Conjuring, the second and third one started to lose me.
Listen, they go deep. And if you watch them in chronological order and not release order, they make so much more sense. And thankfully, I have been blessed with coming across them at a time where they're all available. So I can just binge them.
I need a basically haunted episode to tell me what I'm missing so it improves. Thank you for that.
Before we continue, please take a moment to listen to our sponsors.
Is Disney World home to you? Realtor Victor Naraki can help make it a reality. Realtor Victor Naraki specializes in making your Disney home dreams come true. Second homes, investment homes, retirement, relocation. With Victor's input, he will show you the home opportunities that you don't get to see as a tourist. Imagine being at the park in minutes, walking around the World Showcase for daily exercise, watching the fireworks in your own backyard, or having Disney Springs as your local mall. Have you ever heard of Windermere, Winter Garden, Horizon West, Dr. Phillips, Claremont, Lake Nona, or Disney's own Celebration and Golden Oak? Victor will introduce you to these communities, which are just minutes to the magic. Stop imagining a Disney life and start living your dream today. Call Victor at 407-340-9375. And don't forget to mention that you heard all about Victor here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Head over to celebratingflorida.com and start living your magical life today.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
But for family-friendly horror, it spans so far because I've been trying to get the kids slowly into the genre. So I'm gonna pick kind of from age group, if I can. Spooky Buddies, which is like an Air Bud movie. Yes, adorable. Your kids will make you watch it 15 times because
Brian,
it's so adorable.
Oh, yeah, I can vouch for everything she's saying. It annoys me.
Oh my God. It's to the point where it's almost like a Spy Kids where you are making jokes as you're watching it. Like you and your spouse
it's Mystery Science
have seen
theater.
it so many times that you're quoting it to each other and making fun of it together. Spooky Buddies kind of lands into that that category.
It's very much Mystery Science Theater.
It's so cute. Let's see. Moving upwards, I would say the original Under Wraps, which you can't find on Disney Plus.
Oh my God! Did you suggest it to them?
I would absolutely suggest it.
There's
a
that
great
option
movie.
still on the app or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have Mr. Boogedy, but not Under Wraps. Come on.
How dare you? That's a masterpiece of the wonderful world of Disney.
we reviewed it on We Like Theme Parks once. It was very funny.
Oh, Eugene Levy is in the second one. How bad can it be?
And then if you like Goosebumps and if you like Hocus Pocus, then you will probably like Erie, Indiana, which was an early 90s
Thank you.
show. It has one season, but it's still great. And it's very reminiscent of Goosebumps, and it's a fun time.
I liked it more than Goosebumps at the time.
Yeah.
I remember that show.
Gosh, I'm between two because they kind of feel the same to me, but the Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is very much so part of my childhood horror core, and I watch it every year, and it's So funny and cute. But I also put that on the same level as like Young Frankenstein.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
So
I know Abbott and Costello, I think, are on Amazon. So it's either Amazon or Peacock. So
you know what I wouldn't suggest for you to watch with your teenage kids is Fear Street. Fear Street came out when we were tweens, elementary tween age. It was for us. This show is for us.
For adults.
It is not for your children. And there's a new one. There's another installment coming out next year, the Prom Queen book.
Yeah.
They're doing one centered around that.
We're going to have to watch it before you let the kids watch it.
But it is so gory. There's a lot of sex scenes in it. Like this is not for your children. If you're wondering, it's not. It's for you. So enjoy.
But are you fans of the Wednesday show?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're making me pick 4. I have a list of 20 different things here if you want me to run down. Ginger Snaps is another little cult tween classic.
I mean, I'm going to try not to sound like that guy, but that movie is also great because of the levels it on. In my film class, we had to discuss kind of just the movie is about becoming a werewolf, but also becoming a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting discussion for the movie Ginger Snaps for me. So
on the same level, I would also put Buffy the
original Buffy,
the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that
Paul
movie
Rubens.
a million times when I was young, and then when the show came out, I watched the first episode and was furious. I was expecting camp silliness, and I was like, "What is this? Get it out of here!" And I never watched it again.
Am I the only one who preferred Angel to Buffy, like the shows?
I was so pissed off about it not being like the movie. That
went over Miriam's radar.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
I
watch
didn't
Charmed.
watch a single moment more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. I was like, this is fine. Charmed is better.
Brian's a big fan of Wednesday, so he had that on his Tim Burton Rushmore.
Yeah,
that's a great show.
That show's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's very
There's
fun.
another Netflix series. It's kind of like Black Mirror for kids. It's called Creeped Out. And it's like little psychological thriller shorts.
Yeah.
They're great. They're really fun to watch. There's a lot of
Maybe I'll
seasons.
watch that instead of Black Mirror, because Black Mirror scares me.
I can't wait for the next season of Black Mirror.
You're gonna have to tell me about it, 'cause it scares me.
Oh, it's so good.
So that brings me to a question of, do you have a favorite horror movie theme? I mean, Allie just gave a couple of different ones, but like, do you prefer a slasher film? Do you prefer alien horror, zombie horror, haunted, like spirits, possession stuff, or even animals like Cujo and Jaws? Like, what do you have a preferred one, or are you just wide open?
I prefer a slasher because I feel like often with a slasher you get a mystery too. Like, who is it? Especially that really kicked off for me with Scream. Like, I love that all the Scream movies you were trying to figure out who it was the whole time. So I typically prefer a slasher. I do like an animal one too. Obviously, all the shark movies I'll watch any day. Possessed dogs is a little sad, but sure, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I lean more towards like the psychological thrillers and mind benders. I binge the entire Split trilogy, which is just fantastic the way they tie everything in, especially the gap in release dates, and they just, I don't know, they wrote around it so wonderfully. And I love movies like The Shining, Misery, Silence of the Lambs,
You're gonna be
Psycho,
so mad at me, Allie.
Shutter
Misery?
Island.
No,
I love Misery.
He hates
What
The
do you
Shining. He hates The Shining.
I don't.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
How I say it is, I don't get it, and I prefer the TV miniseries Shining over the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. That's it's a love or hate for most people.
I appreciated Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I can see Allie just trying to play nice right now. Oh man, I pushed a button there.
I've got a question. Miriam, to you, what is the scariest film of all time? Because I have one that'll never ever be replaced. So I'm curious what everybody's scariest film of all time is.
I didn't even get very far into it. It was so scary, and for me, that's The Exorcist.
That is my answer. The Exorcist is the most terrifying film I've ever seen in my life, and it's when you talk about possession and stuff, like I don't handle that stuff well at all.
No.
Freaks
Last
me
year
out.
in the Exorcist house, one of the demons, Allie was with me on this run, actually accidentally went too far and like touched my face with its claw. And I was like, okay, Miriam, it's not real. You're not really going to be possessed. Like, I literally had to do some self-talk after that. It was like, that stuff feels, I don't know, just feels like, what if it did happen? I don't know. I can't with that.
Yeah.
And I wonder, my dad, he watches some horror. He's not, after he saw The Exorcist, though, he was like, I don't do horror anymore. That's the scariest movie ever made. And he's told me that my whole life. And I was like, how scary could it be? Scary. Very scary. He was right. So
How about you, Allie? What's the scariest movie in your life?
Real life is scarier than fiction. And give me any kind of like serial killer. That's terrifying. Like Silence of the Lambs is one of my top movies of all time, not just for performance, but for what it makes you think about. And also it made me more resilient and aware of my surroundings. The scene where she helps him move the couch into the back of the van out of the goodness of her heart because she's a kind-hearted woman. Stop being nice. You don't have to be nice. Just because you're a lady doesn't mean you have to be nice to everybody because you'll end up in some scary, bad situation. So like serial killer and thrillers like that, because they exist in real life for me. And I guess exorcism ones, there's cases, real cases of it. But I think it's more prevalent is the serial killer genre.
Have you seen The Cell ever? That abduction will never leave my mind ever. This guy puts a brick behind the tire of this girl's car, and when she backs up, he plays a sound of a puppy getting like squished. So she flips out thinking she heard a puppy, and then he takes her. Yeah, I would fall for that immediately. Like
that, and like in real life, they'll record people. There have been instances of people recordings of babies crying, so you'll leave your home. No.
Terrifying.
Well, you brought up Ghostface from Scream. We got Hannibal Lecter. Do you have a favorite horror icon? I will let you throw in a Halloween Horror Nights icon if you want to choose that. But who's your favorite horror icon?
Mikey.
Oh, yes, I love Mike Myers.
I love him
Powers
so
is a great
much.
movie. Yeah.
That's an upset. You making the Mike Myers joke for Austin Powers. I thought I would have been the one to do that.
And what's sad is your co-host has not experienced your favorite icon.
I have
She's
in the
in
Halloween
trouble.
Horror Nights house from 3 years ago, but not in a movie form. And I wasn't that scared of that house because I'm like, I don't know anything that's happening in here. So.
Well, who is your icon then? And please tell me it's not Spooky Buddies.
Listen, I'm dressing up as my favorite horror icon for Halloween Horror Nights, and that is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Can you think of anyone better?
Wait.
Like,
This needs to go on social media. I
it's
can't
so
wait.
good. I just
Do you
love
like
that.
the little-
He tried to not think of anything, and he thought of the best thing that has ever existed in is Ghostbusters really horror? I'm going to count it. I think it is.
As a kid, that library scene. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the little miniature Stay Puft?
So cute. I love them so much.
I
Allie
have
just
them
got
in
some
my
for her-
house.
Yeah, she just got some figures of them in her house, and they're so cute.
I don't know why
They have taken over my kitchen. Yeah.
They're
I love them.
So it's 2024. We've gotten some good horror movies. Do you all have any shout outs for horror movies this year that you've liked, or even I know like reasons last year? I know I saw Trap. That was really good. But what are some recent horrors? Because I know some people have said, oh, it's kind of died off. But let's get some of our old school horror fans.
We still have 3 months left in the year.
Yeah, and the big one
We
comes
talked about
out like.
Nosferatu.
I was thinking the Terrifier 3 coming out. That one looks real scary. I mean, I won't ever see it, but Allie will see it for me.
I'm glad people enjoy those movies. I think the actor's really good with his smile, but I don't get the movies. I don't get the appeal.
It's such a, you accept the scenario that you're in, and if you don't, you're like, it's weird. It's like you're there for the gore or you're not. Like
it's
you're
also
there
Allie's
for-
favorite Christmas horror this time. So
I can't.
She loves a Christmas horror.
I usually watch Krampus every Christmas. Yeah. Gremlins.
I'm adding The Conjuring 2 as a Christmas horror.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested, it is now on my list of Christmas horror movies.
I'm gonna throw this one.
The
I did just see Beetlejuice 2, and it was much gorier than the first one, so I'm gonna put it in the horror category. And I thought it was a blast. Like as good as the original. I wouldn't say it's better, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The look of it was great.
For Bob.
Yes,
Justice
Bob.
for Bob.
Poor Bob. I love the new character. My gosh, Beatrice. I want to be you. She's amazing. So
I find myself in the most basic of basic. Everybody calls me basic because my favorite, it definitely qualifies. My favorite part of the horror genre is Stranger Things. And maybe that makes me basic. Where do you guys fall on the Stranger Things level?
Super fan, for sure.
The day that I get married, we are going to go see Stranger Sings, which is a parody musical of Stranger Things. So
when does the Stranger Things Broadway show start? I think it's in March.
I think it's next season.
It's on the West. It's on the West
next
End
season.
now. Yeah, okay.
This is a more independent, separate from Netflix. It's not the official, but I've heard really great things.
There's like an unauthorized Office Broadway or off Broadway Office musical that was fantastic. So like
Seinfeld too. But yeah, Brian, we don't call you basic for that. We call you basic because of your love for pumpkin spice lattes.
Hey, those are good too.
So, but yeah, recent horror, I think it's still going strong.
I mean, we saw A Quiet Place Day 1 in 4DX, and that was one of the best experiences of my life.
Brian, how did you feel about that movie? I loved it.
90% of the movie was fantastic. There was way too many shots of the cat. They wanted me to care about the cat.
I love that cat. The cat is the best character of the whole movie.
Get him, Allie.
I love that cat.
There were so many shots of the cat.
He's a catalyst. He's a catalyst character. You want puns? You're welcome.
No, Brian, nothing.
4DX though is definitely one of the best ways to experience a horror film. I would recommend that any day, as long as you can get there, because we saw Twisters too.
Oh, God.
And we had to wait for the re-release to see Twisters 2. It was so popular that a month passed and then they re-released it in 4DX.
Crazy.
So it's a cool platform to see horror. Abigail was great.
Oh yeah.
I love Abigail. It's on Peacock for listeners out there.
It was
Highly
fun.
recommend it.
I did not see it, but In a Violent Nature has rave reviews and it's already greenlit for a sequel. So it's on my list to watch. Night Swim was Night Swim is like a teen. It's a teen horror movie.
Yeah,
it's scary if you're.
There's
12,
a reason that Are You Afraid of the Dark was 30 minutes. You know,
right.
You can tell that story in 30 minutes. So.
Yeah.
I also feel like I just lost it. Never mind. Oh, Speak No Evil with James McAvoy. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it is terrifying. So it looks very scary. Very psychological thriller going on there.
Well, sadly, we got to wrap it up, but we do need your Rushmore recommendations of horror movies that just say, this is Allie. These are my Rushmore of horror movies to understand me. This is Miriam. I don't do squeamish and I'll watch through my fingers, but these are my horror movies for you. So what are your Rushmores for people to get to know you better?
Allie, do you
Me
wanna
first?
Go? Yeah.
My
I know you got your list right there.
My 4 are Halloween, Jaws, Child's Play, and Silence of the Lambs.
There you go. Mine, I also have Jaws. And let's see. So I have Jaws, Carrie, Happy Death Day, and Scream.
Oh, love it. Yes.
None of these are going to ruin your life.
No. None of them are going to ruin your life. But Miriam, Allie, please tell our listeners how to stay up to date. Everything, whether it's your Instagram, X, Twitter, basically Haunted, where it's playing everywhere that you can find podcasts, correct?
Yes, everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Our schedule, listen, we're a little loosey-goosey, so we're trying to tighten up our timeline, but we release about once a week or every 2 weeks, and you can always find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and our handle is @BasicallyHaunted. And I'll be at Horror Nights next week. Allie's there every night.
To see you.
And we got to stay up to date on everything, Miriam, to find out how the Stay Puft costume went.
Yes, I'll post it on our Instagram for sure. So it's coming together.
It's Allie, you're also a extremely funny comedian.
Oh, thank you.
Please tell listeners how to stay up to date with everything with you as well.
I'm mostly on Instagram. That's like my platform. It's what I'm comfortable with. It's what I post on the most frequent. And my handle is its_Allie K. And that's the best way to see my content and message me.
Bryan, before we lose them, have you opened up a little bit more about wanting to experience horror movies?
I'm Team Miriam all the way. Miriam, by the way, pass a message to Bondo. I want in on trivia night around Christmas time like last year.
Ooh, yes. I
want in bad.
Yes, I got you. I'll be the connect here for that.
Perfect.
And Allie, please tell the other guy that it's no longer Piano Rob is our go-to. It's Allie for our go-to.
He goes, United We Fan didn't ask me to talk about Horror Nights this year. I said, yeah, you've been replaced.
Yeah, sorry about it.
Because if I've been replaced.
Yeah, get your own horror podcast and then maybe we'll talk.
Behind the curtain. I did ask Rob, but then you both got back to me first about a scheduling date. So yeah.
Well, we had a blast. This was really fun.
The only way we catch Rob is, hey, you available? And we call him 3 minutes later and ask him what's better, DuckTales or the Addams Family.
Yeah, we were doing our Jaws puzzle during that episode. I remember listening to you guys record that one. That was funny.
He always takes our call. We always get him as he's walking through City Walk to work or through Disney Springs carrying a keyboard. And he's like, hey guys, what's up? So, but Basically Haunted the podcast, sisters, Miriam, Allie, we appreciate you from Unbasically United We Fan. So you both will be back. We hope you come back. Listeners, give them a like, a listen, a follow. Highly recommended, especially this spooky season if you're looking for fun things. And yeah, thank you, ladies, for joining us. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having us. This was fun.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that concludes this episode. Bryan, appreciate you as always being my co-host and co-best friend. Allie, Miriam from Basically Haunted the podcast, we appreciate you for joining us. We thank you, fellow fans, for uniting with us. For those listeners who want to get in touch with the show, please do so. Bryan, let them know.
You can find us on Instagram at United We Fan Podcast or on Facebook at United We Fan the Podcast, or shoot us a message. We'll get you that link to the Discord.
Yeah, our Discord is on our Facebook page, Instagram page. Join in for Discord privileges like being a guest, a judge, or just joining in on fun conversations. Thank you again, and listen to us wherever you check out your podcasts. Till we unite again, fans, remember, United We Fan is there for whatever goes bump in the night. We'd like to bump back.
Baby.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I would have enjoyed this interview a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee!
Diz Life Podcast is brought to you by the Happiness is Addictive collection. Happiness is Addictive is passionate about spreading laughter and creating smiles worldwide. They love bringing their global community together through optimism, cheer, hopefulness, merriment, and celebrating life's magical moments. They know how important it is to celebrate life's adventures, and their apparel will give you everlasting, one-of-a-kind memories through pixie-dusted family photos, compliments from park guests, and magical moments with cast members. They pride themselves on high-quality, custom-made apparel at competitive prices with world-class service. Let them help you create a lifetime of memories, whether you're Disney bounding, kicking it poolside, participating in Run Disney marathons, having costumed adventures, or just living your best Disney life. You can find their Happiness is Addictive shop on Etsy. You can also find them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Pinterest. They are proud to be featured in Indy Central Florida, the Thoughtful Gift Club, and now here on Diz Life Podcast. Their collection was founded by a 15-year former cast member who knows how to enhance your magical moments for a lifetime of memories with your family. Don't forget to use promo code DizLife15 to take an extra 15% off. What are you waiting for? Head over to Etsy and start getting happy today. Follow the link in our show notes and you'll find out for yourself that happiness is addictive.